Hello, friends. Welcome to a new reading vlog. This is a surprise reading vlog. Is that what it's called? Yeah, a secret reading vlog. That's the word I was looking for. I am so excited. I have been planning this video for months, and I'm sure you've already seen the title, so you already know what it is. But I am going to be reading, being just like the dear, incredible Katie Colson. I am a new-ish subscriber to Katie. When did I find her? I can't remember because I went back and literally watched all of her videos, so I feel like I just have known her always. I want to say it was only like maybe September-ish. Sometime at the end of 2021 did I find Katie, and I instantly just fell in love with her, like everyone is doing the same. And so I wanted to do a really fun reading vlog dedicated to her. I've done one, and normally other people, when they do it too, I've seen, the kind of general thing is to read some of their favorite books, and that's kind of it. And I just feel like if you know Katie and you've seen her videos, her as a person is just, you know her as the girl who, this is not a diss. I don't want this to come across as like so predictable, but like I love it. I love that in like all the videos you're going to see Katie going on walks, probably on a walk to a little library, a free what are those even called? Free libraries, free little libraries, whatever. What she's eating, coffee, Dunkin', what else? What am I missing out that I'm doing? Puzzles. And, a lot of times there's cleaning montages, some things that I already do. But I'm just like, I'm going to live this week like Katie. So those are the things you're going to be seeing in my vlogs. I'm going to be eating the meals that she eats a lot, like salads and wake-up wraps and some other things. Just doing puzzles and trying to go on walks. It is still so cold. Katie lives in Atlanta. She lives in Georgia. And I live in Utah. And if you know Utah, January, February is the coldest time of the year. It's not snowing right now, and there's not snow predicted for the next week, but it is frigid. It is cold. So, yes, I'm a little bit nervous. And sadly, there are no free little libraries close to me that I can walk to. The closest one is about 10 miles away. So I'm going to try to make a trip to go on a drive and go find some and take some of my books to them and all of that. So yeah, I'm just super excited. Let's talk about reading. So when I was thinking about the books that I wanted to read for Katie's, there was 2 books that was like, how could I not read The Diviners and Bunny? Now, there are so many books that I do feel like Katie just talks about a lot, and I just can't do that many in this reading vlog, especially from the time I had planned to do this video. So like her most recent ones are The Push and I Am Losing My Mind. Dowry of Blood. Just popped in there. Oh, okay. Dowry of Blood. And I know like she's been rereading a lot of, some of her favorites. She loves Addie LaRue, but I've already read Addie LaRue. She's been like rereading and talking about how much she loves Kristen Hanna's, oh my gosh, The Nightingale. I'm so sorry, my brain is really not with me today. And a bunch of others and stuff, but I only have time. I didn't want to drag this out too long, and so I am just going to do, I'm going to do Bunny, and I'm going to do The Diviners. And then I was trying, at first I thought I was going, because from watching her videos, one of the first books that she talked about, like reading multiple times, was I'm Thinking of Ending Things. But then what popped into my head was, I was like, another book that I know that she is just loves so much is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. That's another well-known Katie book. So I have those three, and then I do also have, I got the like ebook for A Dowry of Blood if I have some time to squeeze that in as well. Those will be the books that are happening. But the Diviners and surprisingly the Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires is also pretty long as well. They're just big books, so I'm hoping I can go through them quickly enough. But those are just like the plans. That's what to expect. This clip was long-ish, but there's the opening. Now you know what's happening. And I have already started reading Bunny. I've been listening to the audiobook. I don't own Bunny, and it's one of the ones in my goal for this year of buying books. It's just not one that I'm feeling like could be a favorite of all time. I'm not, because it is such a weird book and kind of hit or miss. I was just like, okay, we'll just, get it from the library, see how we feel, and if I love it, then I'll buy it. So I don't have that one. The other two, I do just have a really good feeling about, and so I own them physically, obviously, as you're seeing. Good gracious. So firstly, I am going to start into the Diviners. It probably won't be until later. I've got a bunch of things I need to do first, but this will be my first physical read, and I am just very, very excited. There you have it. I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get to it. So expect lots of montages and fun stuff, and I'm going to try to be good about checking in because Katie is so good at talking about books. She just has me so entertained all the time and gets me to want to read everything. So let's begin. This can be bad. No, it's okay. I'm just glowing here. Is this better? Slightly. This is a wake-up wrap. Katie has made them at home before, but normally she goes to Dunkin' and gets them. We do not have a Dunkin' in Utah. There's like 1 hours away from me, I think, but there's like one in the state of Utah, which is very odd to me. I'm not sure why. So let's give it a test. I think it's very hot. Yeah. I mean, how can you go wrong with tortilla, sausage, egg, and cheese? I also know she likes to use either vegan sausage or turkey sausage. This is just the regular pork patties. It's what I had. Not too shabby. And also, if you have never used these raw tortillas, you're missing out in life. They are the best things on planet Earth and you'll never go back. I'm gonna make some coffee, but I have recently went off of coffee. Reasons I don't need to get into. And so I'm gonna do some decaf. But also, sorry not sorry, I hate hot coffee. Katie makes hers hot. And it's all, or unless that's not true. She does a hazelnut iced coffee from Dunkin' as well. So we can pretend that that's what I'm doing. Okay? In past videos, she used to do like instant espresso with hazelnut creamer and, you know, the whole whipped topping, caramel on top, which I was gonna do, but I hate hot coffee. I hate it. I'm an iced coffee gal. So anyways, we'll still make it in the Keurig and then make it iced. So here's that for ya. Let's try this. I think it's too much milk. I normally don't do this. And when I do drink coffee, I just do like cold brew from the fridge and do this same technique. There's just something about hot coffee. And my husband tells me that I'm wrong and whatever, but it just always tastes burnt. And I've tried so many different kinds of coffee. I've done decaf coffee, I've done regular coffee, I've done everything. But there's something about pressing hot water through the coffee. I don't like it. I like cold brew. Let us discuss Bunny, shall we? Katie, if you by some chance are watching this video, maybe just click away. Okay. I have felt this coming on for a while. It is good. I am feeling like I'm really starting to understand my reading taste better. I hear people say that, and I didn't fully understand what they meant. Just the way that my brain works. You know, we've still yet to really discover how my brain works, but it's hard for me to explain what I like and what I don't like. Like, I look at Kayla and how specific she can get about things that she knows she does not like in books. Recently, I have talked about how too many characters is something I don't like. But again, I think about it and it's like, not always though. There's some circumstances, if done right, I like it. But this one, for sure, I know it will be very hard for me to find a book that I like that is a weird book. And it's not that I hate them or that like I'll never read them, but I'll probably never give a weird book 5 stars. I'm like really not enjoying Bunny. I know lots of people actually don't, but I am just so, I'm at the point of like, why? Why are we reading this story? what is the point of this story? I need to go back when I'm done with it, and I'm gonna watch when Katie reread it a couple, like maybe a month ago or so. She was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, she said something like, I finally realized like what this is about or what it's talking about. How did I not realize this? Maybe that will help me understand it more. I get that when books are written like this, there's that deeper meaning, which again is something, like I said, I don't like. I like to just be told a story. Did you see that? That was like magic.
Like to just be told a story.
A hair fuzzy flew out of my hand. I like to be shown it all out front, not be like, okay, we gotta dig and find it. Like, what are we really talking about? What is the real meaning of this? Like, I'm sure this book is supposed to be about some sort of, you know, mental health situation, and could be like, oh, well, duh, why didn't you see it was about this, 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 and this? Because I'm not that smart. My brain does not work that way. So I am very happy that this is Katie's favorite book of all time. But for me, not so much. I'm really struggling to get through it. I'm very glad I did not buy it. I knew that this probably was going to happen, and I didn't want to take the chance. So I'm glad I haven't bought it. And also, this is not my first Mona Awad book. I read 10 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl. Is that what it is? 10, 15, 20, whatever the number is. I read that over a year ago, maybe closer to 2 years now. And I gave that a 3-star. I might have even given it a 4-star. I got rid of it though. I sold it on Pango because, again, it was just like, it's just very odd writing, very look deeper into things, don't take this at surface level, and everybody who reads it probably gets something different out of it, which I think is great, again. But for me, it's just not a fun time. I don't like to exert so much brain power when I read. The book world, I feel, is here for me just to have enjoyment, escapism. That's why I think this year I'm kind of like leaning towards like horror and fantasy and stuff like that, and pulling away from like dark books, meaning emotionally dark and those just really hard stories, because I'm just like, sure, sometimes you get a really good one that really touches you. I mean, one of my favorite books of all time is that way, but I don't know. I'm going into a spiel and I don't need to. You get what I'm saying. Right now we're sitting at I didn't like this. Like I said, not giving ratings. If you want to see the exact rating I give things, you can go to my Goodreads. But yeah, it's not something that I like. So I'm kind of sad about it. I have hope that one of these, I'm not going to say which one, is going to be a 5-star. So we will see. done well lately. This is just a small tidbit part, and it may sound kind of dumb, but let me explain. So, as you probably know, I got COVID in October, and it was not a good time. It was really bad for me and not a lot of fun. Then, like a month ago, I started noticing something really strange, and then I found out from research and doctors and other people hearing their stories that something that can happen when you get COVID is you can lose your hair. So your body basically reacts to it the same way. If any of you have ever been like pregnant before, I'm sure you've heard people talk about like postnatal hair loss and stuff like that. So they are saying they're kind of mimicking the same thing. Is your body is having a very traumatic incident happen to it, and it causes your hair to fall out. And so I was just like, what is happening? And then I found out, and then it was just really rough. And I didn't have very much hair to begin with. I've always had very thin, very fine hair, but I lost probably about half my hair. And if you ever noticed, or you can go back and look at it, it's very embarrassing, but there's a lot of times where you can see, like if I look down, you see my scalp, or turn to the side, and just even when it's hanging, it's very, very, very thin. And so my hair's always been an insecurity to me, and that's another thing to relate it to the Katie content. Katie talks a lot about in her videos that she was one of those women that went prematurely gray, whatever you want to call it, go gray very, very early. I am the same way. So that started out, I think I got my first gray hair when I was like 16 years old. So that's why I had kind of went the blonder route to make it less noticeable, because I used to always have my hair this color and it's just very noticeable. I would love to just go fully gray and just go that. I would love that. But my hair doesn't go gray enough to really do that. Anyways, so I decided to go back to this color because I used to wear these clip-in extensions. And so you can really tell I might be investing in some nicer ones, but I just dyed my hair back yesterday and I put these in today, and I feel so much better. It's amazing what I can do. I don't ever want to put on here that it's like how you look is what makes you the quality of person. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that it has given me a very big confidence boost, and I'm very happy. Also, I don't feel like I need to explain this, but along with my hair journey, I'm very insecure, like I said, about my hair, because I also, since I have very thin, very, very fine hair, I'm also a very oily person. Like my skin is very oily and my scalp gets oily very, very fast. So in a lot of my videos, you see my hair pulled up, or it looks dirty and oily and greasy. And I'm sure to some it's just like, we're in the day and age that's like, it's okay. But I never wanted to come across that I was a dirty or gross person. But I literally have to wash my hair every single day for it to not look at all oily. So, and sometimes it's just I don't have the time to do that. So maybe some people will see this, and then in my future vlogs or back vlogs or whatever, you'll understand why a lot of the time I look like that, because it's just frustrating. Okay, I went on way too long about my hair, but I wanted to address the elephant in the room. I also feel like this was the perfect video to debut it in, because, I mean, the queen herself loves a good black hairdo as well. And I'm sure, you'll see me without the extensions in and it just down when I don't feel like doing it like this and whatever. But now let's talk books, shall we? Okay, so as you've seen, Bunny, I did finish it. And it didn't get any better for me. Oh, I hate it. I hate that I didn't like it. I really, really, really wanted to like it. I just didn't. But it's okay. That is okay. The part that's making me even more sad is that I'm also not really liking the diviners. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna post a picture right here of, I was just watching Katie's video talking about her Patreon, which I'm so excited about. I think that's amazing. And literally the 3 books in the shot are these 3 books. Like, I knew it. This is the way I should have gone. But I feel so bad. I've even, like, I started just barely reading along and listening, and I just wasn't liking it. And so then that's when I switched to this one. But I was like, I'll just have to come back to this one when I'm done. But I literally was just dreading having to read this book. So I've just started listening to the audio, and I am now at 30%. I mean, I still have about 13 hours left to listen to, because, you know, this is a big chunky boy, and it's just like, it's so pretty. I want to like this so bad. And again, this is going to, okay, let me tell you why. We're 30% in, and again, it's one of those things that I feel like nothing is happening. We have got nothing. So what people talk about, and what I had heard going into this, was about these diviners, these people that had these special abilities. And then there was this guy named Naughty John, is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure, that he's like murdering and dismembering people. And the diviners, there's this one girl who, she is working with her uncle in New York in the 20s, that he's kind of, what's his shop called? Doesn't say. But he's got like his weird little creepy shop thing, and she's going to work for him, and she's got the powers, and they're meeting the people with the powers, and they're supposed to help like save the town, save the city, whatever. So we've gotten one murder and met Naughty John, and yes, that was definitely creepy. He is very creepy. And I don't know if we've met all of the diviners. I don't know how many there are, but we have met 3 or 4 of them. But like, they're not really doing anything. Like, all we're doing is these kids walking around the city. This, I'm sorry, I find Evie very annoying. She's very whiny. And just this guy who's a pickpocketer, and her complaining about him, and then her new friends, and them always going to like shows and parties, and there's a lot of talk about alcohol because we're in the prohibition and all of that. And it's just like, I am so bored. I am so flippin' bored. And then the other thing that just drives me nuts, and I 100% get it. I get that this book wants you to know that it's the 20s and put you in that atmosphere and just really go there. But if I have to read "and how" one more time, it's just so 20s dialogue, which I thought about it, and again, I get that it's trying to immerse you and it's trying to go there, and I appreciate it. But there are plenty of historical books that I have read now that are set, you know, early 1900s, mid 1900s, and it just talks normal. And I am so sucked in. It is so distracting to me, and I just can't even get into the story. That is a personal thing that I understand is my own problem. That is not the problem of the book. So far, I will tell you, the first thing I talked about, where nothing's happening, this is so long, 30%, what? That's the problem of the book. I feel like if you're going to be this long, you better draw me in from the beginning. Okay, hopefully we can get better. I am really enjoying the Southern Book Club's Guide to Murder, and I predicted that this probably would be a 5-star. I don't know if it'll be a 5, maybe a 4, but where am I at in this one? I am listening and physically reading this one. I'm only 15% in, 16% in. This is definitely the one that I have given the least amount of my time to, which is weird because it's what I'm most interested in. But it so far is very intriguing. So we've met the book club, we've started the new book club, and we have run into who I believe are vampire. I don't know if there will be multiple vampires. It says slaying vampires, so I don't know if there will be more, but who I do believe is a vampire. And we had a really horrific scene. If you've read, you know, the old lady and the ears and the possum, that was a lot. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was grabbing my attention. Anyways, that is where we're at. Right now, I am going to do both of these. I think I'm going to do some of both. Kayla and Aaron, the queens, once again, have put out another 5-hour long reading sprint. They did it yesterday and I was not home. I couldn't participate. So I'm going to do that today. So I'm going to read, and I'm also going to listen and probably do a puzzle because, again, one of my things that I've done puzzles before. This is not like I just did it for the video, but I've never like filmed them like Katie does, but I'm gonna start doing that maybe. We'll see how this goes. But I'm almost done with a puzzle, one that I got for Christmas. I got a new puzzle board for Christmas, so I will listen sometimes, maybe like one of the sprints, and do the puzzle. I'll do it on my bed, and you'll just see that, okay? And I'll come back in maybe tomorrow, knowing me. I don't really have much else to show you unless something real wild happens in these books here to come. Things get in freaking creepy. I don't know what I expected from this book, honestly. Like, I know it was supposed to be scary, but I guess I didn't really think about it. And it's not scary. I'm not scared yet. But I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to put my thoughts. Just have to talk at the end. cute. It's the next day. And I could have finished this last night. About 45 minutes left to read, but I was genuinely, so tired, but genuinely freaked out. Like, I have lots of thoughts, but I will do them when I'm done finished. But, like, let me just say, like, why are people not talking about this book? Alright, go in there. Why are people not talking? I know people are talking about this and saying that it's their favorite, how great it is, all that, but, like, why are we not talking about this book? The end. It is here. I really feel like I fully embraced Katie's chaotic energy brand on this video because I honestly know that I have filmed stuff, but I have been filming clips and things and pieces for this for like over a month, and therefore I really can't remember what has happened, what I did film, what is going in this. And so I do know that I never finished, or never told you that I finished The Diviners. I think the last thing I talked about was, I don't know where I was at, but I was just kind of explaining that I wasn't loving this so much. And what I want to do is, I wrote my Goodreads review because I finished this last night. Yes, I finished this yesterday. And I wrote my review on Goodreads because, follow me on Goodreads if you want, because this year I am writing reviews for every book that I finish. I have kept that promise thus far. And so I wrote my review, and then I always do my rating, do my review, and then go and look at other people's things. And as I did that, I read Cindy's review of this. It's a couple years old. What am I doing? And she literally said exactly what I had to say, but just much better than me. I ended up going with a 3.5. So let me just read my review because it's very short. So I said a 3.5. Someone let me know, and I'm asking you this here as well. Is this book just kind of supposed to be setting up for the rest of the series? I said, because that's what it's felt like to me. I feel like only about 100 pages of this book was actually the mystery, and the other 500 was just talking and talking and more talking. Of course, it left me curious about what the rest of the series could be, but boy, was I disappointed. I'm sad. Because, yeah, okay, now let me read Cindy's, because, like I said, Cindy did a lot better job than me. So it was a year ago. So she gave it a 2.5 for a personal enjoyment. Unfortunately, I was bored throughout the 600 pages of this story and kept waiting for it to be over. Same. The pacing suffered with a lot of the characters ambling around and could have been shortened at least 300. This read more like an overly drawn out setup rather than a concise narrative. The characters felt very surface level. I could clearly tell the archetypes that each person was, but they didn't have much depth. Villains were also pretty nondescript. I question, if you strip away the 1920 shtick, if the story would still hold up on its own without completely leaning on the setting. So that's exactly everything that I have said. That I feel like this book just wanted to be a book about the 20s and be creepy. So the points that I did like, the audiobook I feel like is really good because there's like accents and, you know, the narrator sings the songs, and the way the narrator does Naughty John genuinely creeped me out. I gave me chills sometimes. And like when he would the worst part wasn't even the songs, but when she would go into him like quoting the scripture before a murder. And it wasn't scripture, but you know, genuinely creeped. So yes, very atmospheric, very much the 20s. And in the author note, she talks about how much research she went into it, and like how the Hotsy Totsy Club was a real club in the 20s in New York and all this stuff. And so I appreciate that. But that's what it felt like. It felt like Libba Bray just wanted to write a really cool 1920s story. And the characters bored me. The story bored me. Like, there could have been so much more. And I have no idea where this series is gonna go. Like, what is going to become of it from this point on, but I genuinely don't think I have any interest in continuing because this felt like it was a standalone to me. And it's called The Diviners, and yes, you know what those are, but like Cindy says, like just very surface level. You don't get much of anything, and I'm sure the series will continue to dive more into those characters, but I just felt like as big as this was, it didn't say anything. It wasn't a waste of my time, but it wasn't the best use of my time. Ay. And then, you've seen the last clip of me talking about Southern Book Club's guide. Oh my goodness, did I love this book. So, I need to drink this. I did say kind of what I had to say about like, why are we not talking about this book? Because everybody, when they present this or talk about it, you know, like, oh my gosh, this is my new favorite book of all time, and you give the synopsis, and it's the same synopsis for every person. It's set in the 90s. A group of women have this book club that they are bored of reading boring books, and so they start reading all of the true crime, like Ted Bundy and all the things that were happening then, and then there's a vampire, clearly, and like that's it. That's all I've ever heard. But can we talk about this? Okay, I will say, people do talk about, and Katia has talked about, how, you know, this is a really good, like, feminism story, a good group of women, moms, wives, who band together despite having conflict between them and difference of opinions and to whatever. And there are a lot of really sleazy husbands. I don't know if sleazy is the word, but just like, we're very like, I'm the man, all that sort of stuff. But so, okay, I loved this book so much, but I have to give it a 4. It might raise over time to like a 4.5. It's like I want to give it a 5 because of like the feelings I have now afterwards. But as rating as an overall, which I just realized and remembered that I said once again that I was not going to do rating. Whatever. I'm not going to keep addressing it. If I say it, I say it. If I don't, I don't. I loved this book, but it's not a full 5 stars on Goodreads because there was quite a lot of it, and I can't now in my mind probably where I just opened up to, where they go to 3 years later. So half-ish, a little over halfway. It felt kind of dull. Like, I wasn't super excited. Like, it was taking a long time to read because I would read and I would just be like, I'd like get bored and I'd put it down and start watching TV because nothing is really happening. I feel like they could have done a lot more in the beginning to really like have things happening. I don't know. It didn't get horrifying. It was not, I don't feel like over half this book was not horror. Just the end was horror. And man, was it horrifying. Like I put in my review, and I talked about in the clip before, I have heard no one talk about, okay, first off, I get that I've heard people say this is a horror, like that's the genre this is in. But for some reason, I still like seeing this and then being like, oh, it's a book club, and then a vampire comes. And I guess just how vampires generally are, it's like my brain immediately went to, oh, when they're like gonna seduce the ladies. Something like, it didn't even click in my head that this was supposed to be like scary horror, scary vampire. So then once it started getting horrifying, I was not mentally prepared. And the swiftness that it took. The attic scene, I was terrified. It was so creepy. And then just the, I don't know, I don't think that's classified as body horror, but just like the description of gore and I don't want to spoil anything, but the end, I was just like, oh gosh, this is making me queasy a little bit. So yes, just the last 100 pages, 150 pages was a 5-star, was a 10-star, was wild, horrifying, gruesome. I loved it. I wish the whole thing would have been more of that. Then it would have been a 5. But I loved some of these ladies, hated some of these ladies. But that vampire, man. Wow. What a visual some of these scenes were in my brain. Anyways, that's it. So there we have it. Katie Colson, that's a wrap. We had Bunny, which didn't love, kind of hated. Then we had The Diviners, didn't love. I liked it, kind of. And then we had Vampires, loved it. We at least got one, and this was the one I knew going in. I was like, I have a feeling this is gonna be a 5 stars. I don't know about the rest of them. I had good feelings about The Diviners, but I was not getting the 5-star vibe, but I did on this one, and I was right. I can't wait to reread this someday. And this will be the one in the future now that I will be pushing on everybody for a while, till I get to my next favorite. So there we have it. As Katie would say, wherever you are, hope you have a good day. What did she say? Morning, day, night, dusk, dawn, whatever you're having. I hope you are happy, healthy, and loved. But wait, please subscribe if you feel so inclined. Please, please. I am loving some of the new interaction I am having on this channel. It's filling my cup so much. If you want to follow me on Instagram, on Goodreads, on Pango, it's all down there. Always. It's always down there. Check it out. Let's be friends. Subscribe to more videos. And in Katie fashion and others, as I am myself trying to do, the emoji. Please put a peach or a vampire or both. I will see you next time. Bye.